So, welcome again in the last video under the title Research Question or Questions. So, research question is a translation to research aims and problem in brief. And then I think that it is obvious, like research questions is the questions of the research, and it is translation to research aims, goals, and also the problem, research problem. So in framing the research questions, the research questions narrows down the general aims of the study into specific aims. It narrows it, and then we have also the research question narrows the boundaries of the research. It makes it limited, like it limits the research into an area, and that's how it will be more specified. Another point is it guides the researcher in their research, in their investigation or research. Research questions can be like steps that will guide you into what you are going to study and what you are not going to study or do research on. And then it covers also the areas of research. As we know, the research has certain areas, and the research questions will cover it and explains to you the ambiguous parts. So another title is, where do research questions come from? Like from where it arises, these questions. First of all, the research process we have in it. Let me show you again the paper of it. Here it is, the research process. The research process, as we said earlier, we have the research gap and literature review, and then research questions. The research questions comes from the process itself, like from the research gap, because while we have found, for example, the research gap, and we have done the literature review. So as a second step, we have mentioned the research problem. Okay, we mentioned the research problem, and the research problem, after it we do another step, which is mentioning the aims of the research. The aims of the research, we have two, general and specific. The general ones of the study, what can we say? The general aims of the study guides you or makes you choose the research questions, and those research questions must be like specific, that narrows down your research area and make it researchable research. So. And this is the operationalization process. It is called this way. From the general aims of the study, you come up with your research questions that will narrows down your research and make those general aims specific aims. As this is what I've drawn to you, to make it like easy, you have operational process, have general aims of the study, and then you will have the research questions, and then you have specific aims of the study. Then we move to another title, which is where do research questions come from? We're still in it. So research questions arise from the general aims of the specific general aims, right? general aims and response to the specific one. As I was saying earlier, the general aims, and then you do a research question. We say that research questions arises or comes from the general aims of the research, and after you precise your research questions, you will get specific aims of the research, and it will be narrowed down your research topic. And then we have another one, which is research questions. Research questions turn general aims into specific. We know this, it's clear. To which specific, and those specific aims or specific questions will have a concrete and specific answers. We said specific answers and concrete for according to the type of research. Maybe it is applied research. Includes like statistics and numbers after exploring certain phenomena. If it is exploratory, of course. In brief, research question turns general aims into specific questions to come up with specific and concrete answers. Another thing is researchers must ensure that there is an alignment between the general aims and the specific objectives of the study. We say alignment or arrangement. Because they must be like organized and go hand in hand. So the fourth, research questions produce or give data. We can use them interchangeably. Such questions produce or give data that provide evidence to draw conclusions. Yes, after asking those research questions, we will come up with answers, and those answers are the data that proves the evidence that proves that your conclusion is right or wrong. So, types of research questions. Even the research questions has certain types. It is derived from different purposes of the research, and that purposes will lead us into knowing the type of research. So, for example, the qualitative research, its purposes is to describe and to explore, for example. So the questions will be as follows. For example, what a phenomenon is, what is happening, like what's happening in that phenomena, what was happening in a particular situation, a particular moment in that phenomenon. Another one is quantitative. In the quantitative research, we have certain purposes as to examine and to measure. To examine, for example, the relationship, to measure the variables, to look for a relationship between variables, independent and dependent variables. And the questions can be as follows. These are examples I gave it to you. As example, what is the causal relationship between, for example, using AI, and the development of students' writing skill of students, or students' writing skill. Another one I gave it to you is what are the effects of using scaffolding to encourage students to participate, for example. And there are so many questions. And we have in the mixed method, quantitative and qualitative. It will combine in the purposes, it will combine both measure and describe, test, examine and explore, and etc. And even the questions are varied. Let's look to another title, maybe the last or before the last. So, the division of your research questions. First of all, we have to know that research questions must be manageable, practical, answerable, and controllable. Controllable, we can control it. Control the question, question to find the answer that we need. Answerable, not choosing a research question that cannot be answered, because we are at the end looking for conclusions for data, so it has to have an answer. Practical, it is practical, you can answer in it, not has no answer, no practice, and it should be manageable also. So there is some points you have to make before formulating your research question, which are: you have to make sure your research questions fits for the purposes of your study. Not as we said earlier, the research questions depends on the purposes of your study. So you have to make them fit together. Research question according to the purpose of your study. And then we have the research questions, of course, they must be brief, clear, and specific to come up with the data that you need. If they are general, you're not getting the data that you need. Clear, they must be clear, or nobody will understand what is your aim for that. What are the aims of your research? And also they must be brief, not lengthy, so they will forget the first part from your research. Another thing is they must address the focus. They must address, for example, which is the population, the population or the sample, the population that you are intending to give that research for, and they will read it. And the sample which are you going to examine or measure or describe in your research. Also, the person, I was talking about the person, sorry. The focus, what are you focusing on in your research? And also the timing, when does this happen, and does this happen, and does this happen? You have to follow, for example, the chronological order or a logical order according to the state of your research. And also the location, where did you have you done your research, or where are you going to do that research? Because it is depending on that, it can depend on that and have certain other answers according to it. Another two aspects about this, you have if there are many research questions, make sure the relationship with them, ascertain that they are related to each other, not one from here and one from there. It will not be connected, and you need to align them together. And also, if there is one research question with subsidiary research questions, we say subsidiary when it is you have this question and it has certain parts in it. it is divided from two parts. So this is subside, and this is subside. So you have to make the relation between these two, because later on in the answers they have to answer on them chronologically, chronological order, like time, or logical order. And that's it, to make it aligned with between the main ones and the subsidiary, so you do not get confused later on when you are you're analyzing your data. That's it. Good luck, and see you in another video, maybe another module.